to extend social scoring to all aspects of their citizen lives. It is because this is the year France decided to request face recognition to manage their people access to online public services. This is the moment the USA, instead of being social scoring to positive and creative nation that brings us internet, start using social media to spread fear, hate, and anger. Now we have opposite definition of freedom. Autonomy and the strongest economy are fighting to impose the paradigms that will rule the reality of all living beings for hundreds and hundreds of years. I hear you. I hear the 1 million Bitcoin question. Who won? Well, in 2030, I have to take care of my social score. But no worry, this communication is encrypted. So tonight, I have the pleasure to invite two amazing people, two members of my team, two brothers of harm, to the opening session of Brain City's Open Lab. So we have Dr. Daniel Souza Kovacic. Daniel is the Chief Data Officer at Brain City's Lab since July 2018. As a physicist, researcher, and former member of the CERN, he has collaborated to high-energy particle physics studies involving big data, high-precision measurement, simulation, and phenomenology, analysis in strong nuclear interaction experiment. Very complicated. Yes, that's true. And at Large Hadron Collider, LHC, in Geneva. So additional to more than 10 years of experience working in academic research, data analytics, research and development, and instrumentation, solution for the mining industry, is now focused on deep learning management methods to solve a wide variety of problems using computer vision, natural language processing, and recurrent neural networks. And we also have Joris Navarro, which is right here. He's a robotic program manager at Brain Cities. He's born in Perpignan, south of France, in 1981, and he started playing with computer at the age of 10. So logically, he graduated from mathematics, computer science, and robotics in 2004. His first job was a CTO of a social park platform for radio. 2 years later, he joined the healthcare industry as project manager and lead developer. 5 years ago, he was looking for a new challenge. He found Square Go Lab, and an award-winning company that promotes local entrepreneurship, providing a fully equipped fabrication laboratory of technological tools such as software, machine, or rapid prototyping devices. At the same time, he started teaching robotics, coding, and design for his former school. Last year, he graduated from Fab Academy based on the MIT course, How to Make Almost Anything. So, welcome. Guys, I would say that 2019 looks a little bit like we was in 2068. So people are resisting to the machine. People are fighting for their access to self-determination. They feel like something is going wrong, something isn't right. They're asking for a reset. Is it like we collectively were making a digital overdose? How can we build technology that is not against the interests of humanity? So this is the first question, and let's say I will ask to Daniel to give his point of view on that.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you, Kase, for the nice introduction words. I think it's the first time I hear something like that from myself, and it's a big question actually, because well, even though I'm dedicating myself now to the study of deep learning and deep machine learning, I'm at the same time a critic of it, because I'm a critic of it in the sense that I'm a bit against of what is called today data science, because data science is not really a science. I'm talking like as a physicist now. It's more like a data alchemy. So we have a bit of science. We have some of the scientific method. But when the scientific method doesn't work, we just use other tools to kind of fill those gaps, and it becomes more like an experiment, like the old alchemists used to do in the time. So if you say it's like 1968, probably deep machine learning at the moment sounds to me like it's more like the 17th century, you know?
Yeah.
But it's growing fast, and it's getting there very, very quickly. Now, One of the important things of machine learning or statistical learning is that we haven't been able to make a computer, a machine, an algorithm to generalize, which is it's a concept that humans have incorporated somehow in our brain.
So do you believe it's because data science is a proto-science? So we are in the beginning, in the infancy of this let's say disciplines, or do you feel that or believe that it's more because the way it has been designed has been like an extension of statistics and not something that have been built from the ground?
Yeah, well, that's a very good question, actually. In my opinion, is that machine learning and is basically like a replica of how we think our brain works. So, but that doesn't mean necessarily that we know everything about the brain. And it is with our brain that we come out with our theories, our explanations about the world. And the brain also depends a bit on the senses, basically, that are our instruments to measure the environment.
Actually, the fathers of artificial intelligence was talking about perceptron.
Yeah.
They was not talking about machine learning or deep learning. Actually, it was more in this organical approach of the thing that the technology would be able to perceive basically the world.
Yeah, I agree, absolutely. So imagine that with the simplest AI algorithm, that is actually, some people track it back to something that is called AlexNet, that is the first one that can actually recognize images with high precision. You can go a bit back to artificial neural networks that are a bit the perceptron, that are some models, okay? If we add different senses to that, like, I don't know, sound or vision, or other sensors, if you want, of this mechanical robot that is going to process all this information, then I don't want to say that it might actually learn how to generalize, but well, it is an experiment that is actually being done for the moment in robotics. Is very hot. We want to actually replicate. I think that humans have this idea of trying to replicate themselves, really.
Yeah. Joris, do you believe that actually not having a body is the main problem for robots? Because if you don't have a body, you don't actually need to adapt to your environment. You don't actually need to feel your environment in order to be able to walk or whatever. You don't actually need to have a sustainable way to produce energy and then to store energy. And here I'm both asking the question regarding we made a conference about it, both the limit of AI on one hand, but also the limit of the project we have when we are talking about artificial intelligence or autonomous system. So is the body the enablers that is missing to artificial intelligence, and if yes, how do you, as someone who builds robots, would you solve it?
Okay, first of all, let me thank you for the invitation to talk tonight. Thank the audience to be here. I will ask you the same question. Do you think you can think without your body? As Daniel mentioned, we are reflecting artificial intelligence as we think we work, but we need inputs that are our body, our senses, eyes, nose, ears, skin. We cannot think without those inputs. So I'm pretty sure we need body in that sense, because those inputs are the data. We need to take the good decision, and the more data we have, the more precise the decision will be.
But you believe that just like the humans, machine will get more, will get smarter once they will be able to learn and upgrading some experience. Basically, it's so because your body give you the possibility to interact with your environment, and then if you learn fire, and then once you have learned the experience of getting burned, so you don't need to learn it anymore.
Yeah, the more we will be able to understand our environment, our context, the more information we can get, and based on those information, once again we can take the smarter decision. But it depends what we define by smarter.
But I have something to add, because there is something intangible there at the same time. Because even if you got burned when you were a child, then you don't want your child to get burned again. So you can transmit that information. And if we're talking about bodies now, I think there is an intangible body, if you want, which is, for example, from the point of view of physics, the laboratory of physics is a big body, because with the laboratory, we can see colors that with our human eyes we cannot see. We can teach for basically newer generations, newer neural networks, if you want, newer brains. We can hear sounds that with our ears we cannot see. So at the end of the day, this laboratory is an extension of our senses, and I don't know if it's a body itself or an assembly of different bodies, but the information that you transmit from the sensors of this body to other generations doesn't require a body. I don't know what.
So just to come back a little bit to the topic of tonight, we are like in the paradox where now we see the rise of social media as the main mean of interaction between humans. So the isolation, so not the people that are here tonight, because if you're able to spend 3 days at the Web Summit, that means that you don't spend that much time on social media. But a lot of people are now unable to interact with other people. And I was listening a podcast where basically people have made an experimentation where they were analyzing the effect of using Skype as a means of communication in the business environment. And they were saying that actually one of the results is that you have this conversation with a potential customer or potential partner, and you end the conversation without knowing if actually you have been able to understand each other, and if you have been able to if you trust the person. And the explications it was giving is that the main reason is because as humans, we spent millions of years to develop some sense, actually, generating some hormones that actually give you the ability to read the stress of the person that is in front of you. You can see how the eyes are reacting. You can actually have this empathic relationship which is organic at the end with the person when you are talking in person with them. And when you are using intermediaries tool like smartphone, social media, etc., so you hand by this. I'm not sure, I'm not sure if I can trust this person. I'm not sure if he did understand what I'm saying. And I had this experience where I had to make the presentation of brain cities online. Actually, I did it for when we had to join the HPE acceleration program. And I was in Frankfurt, and I couldn't make it physically. And why I had been able to convince people from HPE that actually we were doing something important, something that would be interesting for them and for their business, etc. Offline was very difficult because when you're talking about building a human supportive artificial intelligence, it's like magic here. It's like yes. And so do you believe that what you are describing, being able to transmit the experience of fire to your children, then the causality that goes with it is something that AI technology can integrate or should not integrate, and then that would be one of the factors that makes us different from them.
Well,
It was long.
that question was for me or for?
Was for
Was it a question?
It was not a question. It was a statement.
No, I mean you're talking about specialized detectors, if you want, that are the ones that are allow us to read human expressions. I can, for example, look at the audience and see if they're getting bored or not with all the things we're talking. So all that you don't get that information with Skype if you are chatting, or do you? Because you can actually measure the time of response. You can actually see how the person reacts. And I think the newer generations express themselves better through an application than in person. In person, they get a bit more nervous. I don't know. This is what I've heard, okay? Because normally I speak with people of all ages, and I personally don't notice very much that. But that's what people are trying to say. That's from one hand. But on the other hand, I think that technology itself adapts as well to our needs. So there is a symbiosis there. We shouldn't talk about them and us, like them, the computers, and us, the humans, because at the end of the day, we are existing in the same world. Yes. And even in this room, there is artificial intelligence algorithms running, and they are so natural for us that we don't even notice. Every time I take a photo, I see a small square there that is, I don't know, basically detecting a head or a face. And that's AI. And it's just a normal feature of our cell phones nowadays. Yeah. So we will not notice AI we are already not noticing it. Huh?
Yeah, actually we are, you know, because you're in the company, so it's easy for you to know. We're exploring this application-less technology within the company, because we want to do this frictionless experience, provide this frictionless experience for people using our solutions, but also the technology. And we also want people have less solicitation from the app, etc. So what you're saying is that our technology will become some kind of extension of us, or we are already these distributed cyborgs that we were seeing in the how you call it, sci-fi movies and books we're reading when we were younger. And this will be the moment where there will be a convergence from, on one hand, the AI solutions that we can build, and on the other hand, all the mechanics, the hardware, the robotics that people like Joris can build. I want to hear your point of view, Joris.
About how technology is impacting our society.
Yes, because it's a paradox where, on one hand, technologies tend to disappear and being more omnipresent in the same time.
Okay.
More or less, if I do translate, simplify what
I'm looking for samples from history that can analogy with technology. Technology is not all about computing, AI. Back in the past, just having water in city was technology, because before people have to carry a lot of bags full of water, and somehow architects may bring water in the city. It was technology, it was a progress, and now it's just normal. We have water everywhere. So could we think about the same thing about what we call today technology, AI, something like this? So maybe it will be more natural, it will be everywhere, in the sense it brings us something good for our society. I think in that way, technology will always be there, but we will change our definition of technology, using it on our everyday life.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we will have to change the definition of technology. And technology is everything. It's the clothes we're wearing, and without, I think technology is inside the human nature, because without technology we die. Without clothes, we are tropical mammals basically. We need to live close to water, to a beach in a tropical weather with minus 10 degrees. We will die, and it's because of our technology that we have managed to populate most of the world, and probably we're going to populate other planets very soon as well, because of our technology.
So it's you mean it's both a mean of survivance, because we just are too weak on one hand, just unadapted biologically speaking, and then we transform it like a basic behavior, collective behaviors that we are sharing, because it's not one guy who is doing it alone. It's a collective that is actually designing something that can benefit to the minis.
Exactly. So now my question to you, Kaze, is what is the body of that collectivity? You know?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Before I was thinking that internet could be this body, but I think we might be too young for internet, because once again, in the beginning, people that was in the cyber culture believes that it would be possible to communicate brain to brain using some machines and sending you ideas without even speaking to someone that would be in another city. So it would be like a telepathy without with some helmets. Okay. But I believe that we are too young. You just have to open your Twitter account and watch what we are doing with this fantastic tool. I believe that we will need some re-education and also responsibility. Someone asked me a few times ago that, why just connecting an AI to the social media and internet and we learn everything? And I say that it already have been done. Microsoft did that. They created a chatbot, and the chatbot turned to become racist, xenophobe, etc. And because the machine was learning from us, and I think that we are in the first age of the internet. It's an age where it's chaotic, where we're expressing our anger, and just like you go in the street and you go naked and you start screaming, and
So basically, for me, this is a summary for me to understand actually your words. You're saying that because we're kids on internet, we're too young for internet, we're actually training, we're posting and giving, sharing information over this network, an amazing tool that you call. And once we run AI algorithms over it, it learns things that children do.
Yes.
And children as a humanity, and
yes. That's
why the AI becomes racist and homophobic and.
Yeah, because I think that's a more advanced society. I'm not saying that we are not advanced. I want to say that a society that would be advanced enough to, as you say, understand that technology is not something that is only related to science. Because when you use the word technology, most of the time people will say, okay, they do mathematics, they're engineers, etc. But the reality is that, and that's the second part of this evening, that I hope is not very boring. Okay? If it is, you just have to, okay. But the second part is about, we are saying that technology is a cultural artifact. It's the manifestation of who we are as a collective today. And I think that, yes, we have to learn. We have to learn to understand who we are, how we feel, and then just things that the discussion we had yesterday, you know, when you say, I don't know, you translate earlier today that you think before you think you think what you think what you say, and some people, other people say what they think, which is different. And I think maybe more people should be.
I said that.
Yeah, you said that.
Ah, yes, I remember.
Yeah, you
well,
remember?
we have a podcast between us, you know.
Yeah, it's a private
probably
podcast.
Once a day. Yes. No. I was saying that I don't say what I think. I try to think what to say. Yeah,
Yes,
what I say.
what you say.
Something like that.
But I think that's very interesting because unfortunately on internet people just say, they just very often they are reacting to an impulse, reacting to an emotion, and this makes the whole thing crowded and noisy. So.
But remember that, well, one of the evolution theories is that our organs were actually developed by reacting to these impulses, and then they became more refined. And so basically we need this stage, maybe we need this stage of childhood to...
Absolutely. I think it's a necessity for us. Otherwise, we are on this point where we can fall into chaos, you know, where basically people will not be able to distinguish what is true, what is not, what is the fake news, what is real news, and what is you are able to change the discourse of a president and using the same voice, the same tone, etc. Using it today, that's possible. It's now. It's not tomorrow. So yes, I think that's yes. Internet is that tool, but it's the first version. So.
Yeah. Well, this has been speculated as well. I don't know what you think, Joris, but someone said once that internet doesn't really give you any information. At the end of the day, you just have infinite cross references, one reference calling another one and another one, and because these are graphs that are very extended and with so many connections, at the end of the day, they are all connected between each other. I don't know if any of you from the public has Googled, I don't know, the symptoms of why I have a headache or something like that. Everybody always ends up having cancer or something terrible, you know, because it's just a loosely connected graph with many other diseases and maladies.
And the ones that are shouting louder, and the ones that are more attention.
But at the same time, we need those cross-reference because on top on those reference, that's how we build inference, causality, and I think it is important to have a more global point of view, because what we call intelligence that robots don't have is because we as humans are able to contextualize and to analyze with sums of experiences, and we know something because of something else, and those relations between things we use to take decision and are based on all those references that today we do not have with data and with internet.
I believe that the next step in the AI will be actually we will discover how to transform experience into object that can be used by artificial intelligence algorithm. That's the way you can move forward. I think it's a very complex concept that I have in mind, but instead of having data, actually you would have encapsulated experience, and this experience that will be an object that then you will be able to use to develop your software. Or
like the Polaroid 2.0.
Yes. So
I don't know if we have planified like a round of questions or commentaries involving.
Do not hesitate. because we are dry.
Do we have a microphone to actually?
We don't, but
Maybe I can just.
yes, you can just
open-
extend it and share it to the public.
If someone wants to take
Any
my
questions?
seat and be part of the
No, more
conversation.
commentary than questions. Well, feel free to
Yeah, yeah.
disrupt.